Hello everyone, it's the end of 2023 and that means I will be ranking all 38 brand new movies I saw in theaters this year. I went to the theaters 48 times in 2023 to see 48 different films, some repeats, some re-releases, but 38 of these movies are all the new original movies released in 2023 that I saw this year, and I'm very excited to talk about them all and rank them all for you. That being said, I will be just going through the movies very briefly with my thoughts, nothing more than a couple of sentences, but I'm excited to talk about it and give my final overall thoughts of every movie I saw this year. Let's get into things. Number 38, Meg 2, The Trench. This is a movie where the first two-thirds are kind of dull and boring, but the third act is a ton of campy fun, so overall, I in no way would call it a good movie. The third act was pretty fun. Number 37, Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. Well, it's got some decent ideas, some solid visual flair, and some fun action and world building. Overall, the characters and writing aren't that interesting, and this is a movie that somehow is both too lacking to be a full Part 1, but also, feels like it should be part of a greater story. It feels like they should have either made this one movie or fully beefed out this movie more, so the director's cut choice for this film definitely hindered it for me. Number 36, The Boogeyman, a decent enough, solid horror movie, nothing special, nothing standout, but it's got some decent scares, a solid cast, and a cool creature design. Number 35, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, a solid enough superhero film with a good lead dynamic between his two main characters, Aquaman and Orm, and a cool villain in Black Manta. Doesn't stand out really in any way, shape, or form, isn't as good as the first one, but it's a decent enough time at the theaters. Number 34, Peter Pan and Wendy, an interesting enough twist on the Peter Pan story with some cool plot twists about Captain Hook, played very well by Jude Law. I like the look at Neverland and some of the fun sequences, but overall it doesn't have the same magic as whimsy as some other great Disney stories. Speaking of which, number 33, Wish, a pretty by-the-numbers Disney animated film, princess story. It's got some good animation, some solid songs, some decent enough voice acting. It's pretty basic across the board, and maybe it being Disney's 100th anniversary feature kind of hinders it a bit, but it's fun enough, and I came out of it relatively happy. Number 32, Cocaine Bear, a stupid but fun comedy that I honestly, for the most part, enjoyed. It's dumb, but it's fun. It's got some good horror elements, and I liked it. Number 31, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, a fun but overall forgettable superhero sequel. It's got some cool action sequences, it's consistently funny throughout, and I like the whole cast. Just the villains were nothing too memorable, and overall, it's just not a superhero movie that's really going to leave much impact, especially considering most of these characters are going to be rebooted or recast. Number 30, Fast X, about what you'd expect from a Fast and Furious movie in the year of our Lord 2023. Dumb, stupid, explosive fun. Nothing really that great, but, the cast is clearly hamming it up a bit. Some of the sequences, especially near the finale, are stupid and bombastic and fun. I just wish it had an actual proper ending. Number 29, Haunted Mansion. A solid, silly comedy that mixes some of the horror. I definitely would not enjoy this one as much if I wasn't a fan of the ride, but I liked some of the references. The cast was clearly having fun, and it's okay. I enjoyed it. Number 28, Five Nights at Freddy's. Same thing as the last one. I would not enjoy this if I wasn't a fan of the franchise, at least through YouTube videos. But I thought it had some cool references, some decent scares, amazing animatronic designs, and a fun cast, especially Josh Hutcherson and Matthew Lillard. Number 27, Elemental, a cool Pixar movie with some great character designs and a fun world, good music, pretty by-the-numbers rom-com story, but some good voice acting and characters to go along with it. They made it a pretty solid, fun summer watch. Number 26, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I definitely enjoyed this movie more than most people. I thought it had cool action, funny jokes, a solid villain in Kang. That being said, I have not watched it since my first watch back in February, and I know if I watch it again, I'm probably not going to enjoy it as much from the original theater experience. But the original theater experience was fun. I just wish this movie had higher stakes and influenced the greater MCU more. Number 25, The Marvels, a fun and inoffensive Marvel action movie. I like the cast and the dynamic between the three leads. I thought it was all really engaging and entertaining and just genuinely fun. Weak villain, but some fun sequences, and I thought the short runtime really did help the movie to make it a fun, solid Marvel entry. Number 24, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. a pretty entertaining, action-packed Hunger Games movie that does a great job being a prequel and setting up the future of this world with some solid, compelling characters and a cool look at the past of the Hunger Games. Just the first two acts feel very different from the third act. Number 23, Scream 6. A cool horror movie, maybe one of my favorites in the franchise, with some great plot twists, a great New York setting, and some solid scares that made me really enjoy it. Number 22, The Little Mermaid, a simple, inoffensive, and fun remake of the classic original. Halle Bailey shines so much as Ariel. I think all the cast and musical numbers are really, really good and well done. Some solid special effects, and some of the new stuff added here generally adds to some of the characters, which I appreciate. Simple and inoffensive, but fun. Number 21, The Boy and the Heron. This may be ranked a lot lower for me than it was for other people. I just thought it was a little confusing, and that maybe hindered my enjoyment, but I'm sure I'll like it more upon rewatches. But beautiful story, amazing animation, great voice acting, all made it a really, really fun time, and I'm sure I'll like it again more whenever I rewatch it. Number 20, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. A fun animated film with a great teenage representation of the Turtles who felt really like real, authentic kids. It's got great action, great animation, fun music. It's an overall fun story and introduction to a new version of this world that I'm really excited to get more into. Number 19, Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. A huge surprise this year with a really, really fun action, adventure, comedy that's I don't know, we don't get a lot of great fantasy comedies these days, or maybe ever, but it's really, really great. Great cast with Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, and more. I love how it kind of ties in so many elements from the games while also feeling like a solidly fun fantasy adventure and world. I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope we get more movies in this franchise. Number 18, The Flash. I like this more than most people. Sure, the one cameo-infested CGI scene at the end is really, really bad, but everything else I enjoyed. I enjoyed Barry's journey, the heart of him trying to get back his parents. I enjoyed the return of Michael Keaton's Batman, Ben Affleck's tie-in. And while the ending was a little weird, overall, it's just still a fun, enjoyable movie that kind of feels like a solid ending to the DCEU with some fun moments and a lot of heart. Number 17, Blue Beetle. Like The Flash, but without the crazy cameo thing. A solid, simple superhero origin story with a great lead with Jaime Reyes, a fun inclusion of family and love and how that affects things. Just some okay villains, but some cool special effects and suits that leads to an awesome final battle. And I'm really excited to see him continue in James Gunn's DCU. Number 16, The Creator. A really cool, unique sci-fi feature. I thought it had some interesting things to say about AI, where it was less about AI and more about how the United States treats nations they're afraid of. Some great cast, some amazing special effects, a fun third act, and overall, I was pretty happy coming out of it. Number 15, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. A really, really entertaining video game adaptation. Amazing animation, phenomenal music, some solid enough voice acting, and it's definitely a fan servicey, nostalgia-y movie, but hey, that makes it a lot of fun. Number 14, Poor Things. A very, very R-rated drama, but also comedy about a woman who's like a kind of Frankenstein kind of thing, discovering the world and going through a beautiful journey of self-discovery. Fantastic directing, colors, cinematography, costumes, hair and makeup, and some amazing performances, especially by Emma Stone. Number 13, Wonka. A really, really fun musical with some great cast, especially Timothée Chalamet, some fun nostalgia, and just a huge beating heart that makes this movie so amazingly fun, and just something that I'm really excited to watch again in the future, maybe every Christmas. Number 12, Creed 3, an awesome and epic Rocky movie, probably my second or third favorite in the entire franchise. Amazing direction, fun acting, a great villain in Jonathan Majors, just like real life, and some really good musical moments, and Michael B. Jordan stands out as both the star and the director. Number 11, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Definitely a lot higher for me than it is for a lot of people, but I love Indiana Jones, I love Harrison Ford, and this great story about Indy's final adventure as he kind of looks back on his past and his future and decides what he wants to be. Great adventure moments, great music. Definitely too long, a little too much CGI, but a lot of fun. And just seeing Harrison Ford back as this character was just awesome. On to the top 10. Number 10, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1. I really, really enjoyed this one. I thought it had some great action, some stunning sequences, a phenomenal cast. Tom Cruise was great. The music was so good. I think maybe a little overly long and confusing at points, but still super satisfying and one of the best action movies we've gotten in years. Number 9, Godzilla Minus One. A satisfying and emotional human drama about the survivors of World War II in Japan that is also an epic Godzilla monster movie with such a satisfying third act that'll make you come out so happy that you went to go see this. Number 8, John Wick, Chapter 4. One of the best action movies ever made with some insanely well-directed sequences in Paris. A lot of good jokes, a great lead performance by Keanu Reeves, and probably my favorite movie in the franchise, just because it's so awesome and fun to watch through and through. Amazing action. Number 7, Asteroid City, a new Wes Anderson movie that's got so much heart, comedy, humor, love, phenomenal cast, phenomenal production design, and great messages about what it means to live and how no matter how confusing the world is, our job is to push forward and just find what we enjoy in it. Number 6, Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, an American historical epic with an amazing cast, phenomenal direction, and such a heartbreaking, gut-wrenching story about the death of the Osage Nation. Lily Gladstone is phenomenal. Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro and the whole rest of the cast are also great, with an insanely haunting ending that'll leave you thinking for a while afterwards. Number 5, The Holdovers, a really sweet, well-made, kind of like Christmassy style film. It's a great 70s period piece. Amazing cast with Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sessa, Divine Joy Randolph. Everyone is just pulling their A game. They're so believable in their roles. And it's a movie that's so funny, wholesome, and heartbreaking at the same time that I would recommend anybody watch this Christmas season or next Christmas season. Number 4, Barbie, the huge event film of the year. An amazing cast, great messages about not just for feminism, but for everyone. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling kill it. Great costumes, production design, musical score. Sure, it's probably far from the best movie this year, but it's one of the most fun times I had in theaters this year. And just the hype around Barbie this year just shoots it up so high up this list, and I just honestly loved it. It's so much fun. Number 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a beautifully animated epic superhero tale, one of the best Spider-Man films ever made. It's got a great sense of love for Spider-Man past, present, and future, amazing voice acting, stunning animation and acting. And while I am sad that it's going to take so long for the story to conclude, I really enjoyed it the second viewing around, and I think it's an awesome superhero movie that's just, I don't know, it's got so much heart and so much love, and it's hard to not like it. Number 1 and number 2 are basically interchangeable. This whole top 4 is pretty interchangeable, but this top 2 are really interchangeable. But these are just my thoughts with how they impacted me. Number 2, Oppenheimer. An amazing 3-hour-long historical epic with phenomenal direction, writing, acting, especially from Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, and more, with an insanely impactful story about the flaws of humanity, our regrets, how we affect the world, and a great historical period piece. It's consistently entertaining and informative and haunting all throughout, and I can't imagine watching this movie and not being shaken to my core. It's so good, so well done, maybe Christopher Nolan's best. But at number 1, just for the movie this year that was most influential to me, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I've loved these movies since I was 9 years old. They're insanely fun, well put together. I love the cast. The story of Rocket Raccoon and his origins is so beautiful. I love the fact that it has such a happy but also kind of bittersweet ending. Amazing musical choices, some insanely high emotions, and awesome action sequences. James Gunn's directing and writing is on fire. The CGI is amazing. And as someone who just loves the Guardians of the Galaxy, I was so satisfied and more by this film, as much as it surprised me. So I would call it my favorite film of 2023. I hope you guys liked the video. I'll see you all in 2024, starting tomorrow with my most anticipated movies of 2024. Hope you guys liked the video. I hope you enjoyed this year of content, and I'll see you all then. Bye for now.